Corner. Hey, if you haven't noticed already, there's a little bit different look and feel at Conarchy's Corner, and that's because we've recently moved our offices. Yeah, we've moved our offices from Vernon Hills to Gurnee, Illinois. So the next time you're in the Gurnee area, look us up, stop by, say hi. We're excited by the move, much closer to my house personally, but more importantly, just here to better serve you. Love the updated facility, faster internet, all the good things so that we can serve you better. I wanted to make sure I brought this Conarchy's Corner to you because I was last night attending, this would have been Thursday night, attending Lake County had an information meeting about property taxes, property tax information meeting at College of Lake County, which I wanted to make sure I went to. And I have to say hats off to Lake County tax assessor Marty Paulson and both the Avon and Warren Township assessors that were there. They did a great job explaining to everybody and taking time. I mean, it went on for almost 2.5 hours as they answered every question in a standing room only room, trying to help everybody through these tough times and turbulent times, understanding property assessment. And what I want to try to do in this is really quick give you a recap of that. As you know, I'm always committed to giving you information that's going to be financially beneficial to you, and this video blog will be the same. Now, I talked to a lot of people across the state as well as across the country. So I am going to, unfortunately, be very specific on this one to Lake County, Illinois. But a lot of the same things do flow into other counties and other states. So I think you can take sort of the information that we go through here. Obviously, if you're in Lake County, it's going to be a sweet spot right for you. And then you can use the same type of things if you're in other counties to help work with your assessors. So what I did is Lake County has gotten very, very proactive on this. Their website, and I'll leave some links here for you, is very user-friendly, making it simple to understand how you get assessed, why your assessment is the way it is, and the tools that you can actually look at comparables in your neighborhood to see if your assessment is correct. The other thing they've done is they've been very detailed on communicating all this information to you. If you haven't already, you'll see this very soon. You're going to see your blue letter. Yep, that's used to be a small postcard that the county has gone to a two-sided format so that you can have all the information in front of you so that you understand this thing. So they are taking proactive steps to do this. So again, applause go to Lake County for doing this. And what I wanted to do is let you know how this works. In general, when you get this blue letter in the mail, you've got 30 days, the clock's ticking, that if there's something wrong on this, information-wise, they have the wrong year that your house was built or the wrong size of your home or the wrong rooms or something like that, or if you feel that the assessment is assessing your house at too much value, you've only got 30 days to be able to turn around and work with your assessor to make the appropriate changes. So it's very important to understand that you're looking for this blue letter. Now, a lot of the townships that are already out in Lake County, several of them have sent these out already. Antioch went out August 31st, so by September 30th they have to act. Fremont Township, it's already come and gone. Fremont had theirs out on August 11th, and that's come and gone. September 12th is past. Libertyville was September 8th, so you have to do this by October 10th. Warren, September 7th, you've got to do this by October 7th. Wakanda, September 22nd, so you have till October 24th. And if I haven't mentioned your township, yours isn't out yet, but once that comes out and once that gets posted in the local press, you've only got 30 days. So this is the important time. And once the 30 days are up, it's over. You have to get your tax bill, and then you're going to have to make sure you put in your calendar next year to be on the watch for it. So this very important month here, when you get it, that you've got to act on it. Well, I highlighted a whole bunch of stuff, if you can see on this blue sheet, that I want to cover with you really quickly. If you've got one, if you want to grab it and go through this with me. If not, when you get yours, you'll be able to replay this or be able to follow along with me. But a couple of things that I want to make sure I point out, and this is probably the best one to point out first, is that what the assessor is doing, what your township assessor is working to do, is to establish what they call full fair cash value. This is really important. Full fair cash value. I didn't say market value, did I? No, so they're not determining what your home is going to sell for. This is not market value. And so many times, this is probably one of the biggest things that everyone has to understand. And I got last night a definition of what that is, so it's really important, so I'll share it with you. The definition of fair cash value, and Marty Paulson had went through this in his presentation, the amount for which a property can be sold in the, and here's the important part, due course of business and trade, not under duress, between a willing buyer and a willing seller. So check this out. Not under duress, which unfortunately that's our market today, that we're under duress, and most properties being sold today are under duress, and between a willing buyer and a willing seller, and unfortunately there's not a lot of willing sellers out there. So this is a very unique time, so you've got to have patience for these assessors. As I've been saying lately in the mortgage business, I would hate to be an appraiser because it's such a tough job today. And I'm going to give you a stat that they shared with us last night to show you how tough this is. In 2004, 25,000 homes were sold in Lake County. Last year in 2010, only 8,000. So that's a problem. Data and comparables is so important to determining value. So when that's not there, it's a hard job for both an assessor and an appraiser to do their job. So we have to be patient with them. And really the most important thing here, it's fair cash value, not, in capital letters, not market value. So what they do is they show that to you on this form here. The other thing that they're doing, and this is important too, is they're looking at what the assessment valuation would be as of January 1st of 2011 in this case. So they're looking at it and saying, what was the value on January 1st, 2011? So if the market has gone down over the next 9 months, they're not looking at what values are today, September 2011. It's going back to January 1st. Another very important thing is that when they look at values, they do a hybrid. They look at an average, and they look at 3 years. So they go back and they're going to say, okay, what was this fair cash value, right, for 2008, 2009, 2010, and all the homes in your neighborhood for those 3 years to determine the value on January 1st of 2011. So it's really important to understand this. And why this is important, gang, is that home values really started to fall off in 2008, 2009, and then obviously 2010 and where we're at today. But remember, the market peaked in late 2007. If you look at the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, September of 2007 is the actual peak in Chicago. So you got to understand, it started to fall off up there, but it was still high. So 2008 data is still in here and figuring into it. So you have to understand this when you're looking at what they're assessing it as versus what you believe the market value is today. In that case, we're talking almost 4 years ago. What we want to do is on here too is your contact information is right on here for your assessor, and you want to reach out to your assessor. That's who you want to talk to. You don't want to worry about going to the board of review and fighting your appraisal, or excuse me, your assessment. Just work with your assessor. And the assessor, Charlie Mullen in Warren Township, he was there last night. He was great and very informative. And I got to tell you, every time anyone says anything, call me. Call me. I'll take care of you. Very proactive, very friendly, and they want to help. They really do. They want to make sure this is right. But what they recommend that you want to do here is make sure you check the accuracy of the information, and then if you see something wrong, contact your assessor. Again, it's based on the sales from 2008 through 2010. Your property is then assessed and giving it 1/3 of value. So if your home fair cash, see, I made the mistake. Fair cash value, if it's $300,000, your assessed value would be $100,000, so 33% of that. And again, highlighting, before filing an assessment appeal, an attempt should be made to review the details of your property with your assessor's office. It's also important to understand on this letter, they tell you what exemptions that you've had on previous years and what you qualify for. An exemption is a reduction of assessed value. This is very, very important for you to take advantage of these. If you live in the house and it's your primary home, there are several exemptions that you may qualify for that will reduce your assessed value, therefore reducing the taxes that you pay in your property taxes. Some of these include, they've got them listed on the back here, so some of these include your general homestead exemption. That's a $6,000 reduction in your assessed value. In that example, on a $100,000 assessed home, it would fall to $94,000. taking approximately $18,000 of fair market value off of your home, so reducing what you're going to have to pay in taxes. You have a homestead improvement. If you've done home improvements to your house, you qualify for an exemption. You have a disabled person's exemption, senior citizens exemption, and then on top of that, even a senior citizen freeze, where you can freeze and cap the increases of your tax bills if you're 65 or older. And one thing I learned last night, both spouses do not have to be 65 or older. One of the two spouses needs to be 65 or older. Returning veterans, if you have a veteran that you know, I heard this last night, and I'm reaching out to my veteran today that I know in my neighborhood to make sure that he's getting his returning veteran exemption. You also have a disabled veteran exemption on top of that as well. So all these exemptions are out there, and it's one of the things I really got about being there last night. It's the people who are trying to make themselves knowledgeable about this are going to be the ones to benefit. It's the people that don't, and I don't have time for that, or that's too confusing, are the ones that are going to be paying more. Because one of the things I learned last night is that this is all about just making sure that the distribution of the taxes are paid out throughout the county. And if you don't listen and you don't take notes and you don't proactively approach this, you're going to have somebody else who is doing that go out there, do what's necessary to reduce their assessed value, and that's just going to mean everybody else is going to have to pay for it. So you've got to do this. It's all about you. It's all about you and having self-interest in this to go out and do it, learn about it. But I'm here. That's one of the things about this, is that I'm here to help bring this to you. And if there's questions, call on me. That's the value we bring to all of our clients, of understanding this for myself out of self-interest, but then obviously helping everybody else out there coach us through it. Again, the importance of this is that 30 days from when this is put in the local press, and usually the blue letter is the next day. So technically you may only have like 29 days once you see this blue letter. There is also locations on here for tax help, so make sure you contact them. A lot of places that will be able to help you. Again, the steps that they have recommended in here are to review the assessment. Number 1, contact your local township assessor. Number 2, participate in a board of review if you don't get anywhere with your assessor. And then finally, the board of review will give you findings if to let them know what you're going to do, if they're going to keep it at where it's at or reduce it. And then there's also even a way here so that you can, once you know your assessed value, you can then figure out what your property tax will be. One of the things I learned last night, quite interesting here, is that what you get is an assessed value, and then the township that you're in and the tax area that you're in is going to have a tax rate to it. One of the things that Marty mentioned last night was that, looking at my notes here, there were 225 tax districts last year, but then there's 1,500 different combinations when you start putting in all the districts. We start putting in schools, libraries, fire, police, and you name it. Very interesting stuff. The median tax rate went from 6.9 to 7.4% last year. And I'll put a link to this too, because there is on their website a whole list of all the different tax rates that are out there. And they range. I mean, it's quite amazing that you've got tax rates, I think I saw, as low as 5% and as high as 11%. It's pretty amazing of your assessed value. So if you think of it, if your assessed value was $100,000, right, using that as an example, and you had use an example, a 5% tax rate on it, that's $500 per 100,000, so you'd have a $1,500 tax bill. Obviously, in that same example, if you had an 11% tax rate, that's $1,100 on the 100,000, and if you have a $300,000 fair value, that thing balloons up to $3,300. Obviously, more than double. So tax rates and assessed values play this math together. We combine them together to figure out what you're going to be billed on. Some of the other notes that I jotted in here is, I want to make sure I throw everything out to you, is that the appeal process is actually quite simple. And I've done this successfully the last 2 years myself personally with the Warren Township Assessor on my primary home. And it was basically just getting the details together, working with him, and providing them to them. Now again, that was going to the assessor first, like we recommend. They were very open. We had a very calm communication with it. There was no negativity at all. They understood what we were trying to do, and they were trying to help me, and we worked it all out, and they were able to make the changes and lower my assessment for the last 2 years. So very important here to understand that your assessor is there to help. That's what they're there for. They want to help. They want to make sure this is done the right way, but you just got this limited window. And that's why I made a big point to saying this is time-sensitive information. Some of you, it's already passed. Some of you, you're in the middle of it. Some of you, it's going to be coming here very soon, and you need to be prepared for it. But one of the things that I've talked to clients about in the past before is there are services, there's attorneys, there's different companies out there that offer to do this for you. It was reverberated again last night, and I'll say it, and I've been saying this for several years. Do not use those services. They are very, very expensive, and what they tend to do is do what you can do on your own for free and what you already have available to you. I'll include a link here to the Lake County Assessor's website where there are tools that you can go right in, pull your information up, compare it to your neighbors, and make sure that you're right where you need to be. And if you see errors on ages of your home, room sizes, the amount of rooms, you name it, you can go ahead and right away inform the assessor to make those on your own. It's a phone call away. There's no red tape to this. It's a very simple process. Again, I've been able to do it the last 2 years. So you don't want to pay these firms that, you know what they do? They take your money and they go on the Lake County website and do what you can do on your own for free, but then you have to pay a huge fee to do that. So it was talked about it last night. I'll say it again today. I've been saying it for years. Don't hire services to do it. Do it on your own. And if you need help, give me a call. I'll help you for free and point you in the right direction. And a lot of the links that I'll share with you on this post are going to be able to get you to where you want to be. Pretty much about it. One of the things that I think I may have mentioned this before, but it's just very eye-opening about how the market has changed completely, that we went from 25,000 sales in Lake County in 2004 to 8,000 sales in 2010. Shows you why this has been such a tough time. So you've got to understand appraisers, and you have to understand county assessors. These are two people that are really hurting now because data is their friend. Comparables and having a lot of them help them be able to get values for everybody. It's hard to do today without it all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was valuable to you. Please share it with everybody. Just get this out. Let's get this viral. Let's get this to all your friends and family, because we all have to pitch in to make sure that we know. And most of the times we don't know what we don't know until someone tells you. That's what I'm doing today. I've been able to take the time over the years and understand this, and now I just want to give it to you guys and then have you run with it so you can better your financial situation. And on one final note, if you have not talked to me lately about refinancing, you've got two opportunities in front of you. Make sure your assessed value is right so you pay the least amount of property taxes and you save money there, but also to take advantage of these historically low interest rates with low 30-year fixed rates in the low 4s. Unprecedented, and you've got to take full advantage of it. Again, out of self-interest, you've got to step up and do this. I know we don't have enough time, but it's mandatory if you want to make sure you're doing the right things financially with your money. And as you know, I'm here to do that for you. Hope you enjoyed this Conarchy's Corner. Any questions at all, let us know. And again, apply this to your other counties. If you're not in Lake, sorry, this is all specific to Lake, but that's the best that I know. I live up here, and I've been taking the time to understand it. But it should apply, very similar, what I just talked about, to your counties too. Go ahead, go to your county's assessor's office, and I'm sure they're going to have the same tools to walk you through this. Thanks for watching this Conarchy's Corner. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.